All righty, welcome to the show. It is Football Roundtable, and I am your host, Sean. I am also joined by David and Eric. How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Doing well.
Doing pretty good.
All righty. So please remember to like, share, notify, subscribe, and now that we are back on YouTube, yay. All right, we are doing round one mock draft tonight. David is controlling the board. Let's hope this all goes according to plan. But David, you want to kind of explain what's going on here?
Yeah, so basically I'm using the PFF, Pro Football Focus mock draft. We are going to be drafting tonight. Eric will be picking the Raiders pick, Sean Jets, me Cardinals, so on and so forth. We'll be doing that in that order. Also, we'll have discussions on the picks, get a little bit of a consensus, but at the end of the day, it's going to be up to the person who's picking for that team to make their pick. So, yeah, just like any normal mock draft, some are going to be needs, some are going to be reaches, some are going to be out of the blue. But that is the NFL draft on a Thursday night in April anyway, so sometimes you get the unpredictable, even though people think they know what's going to happen. There's always that surprise or two in the first round that people don't see coming. Cole Strange, perfect example of that, Sean.
Yeah, there you go. All righty. So I guess let's start off with the probably most obvious pick of the draft. Eric, who do you think the Raiders are going to select?
Francisco Mendoza out of IU.
Fernando Mendoza.
Fernando Mendoza, sorry.
Yes. I don't agree with the pick. I think the Raiders could do better elsewhere, and not because I don't think they need a quarterback, but I just think that the way they've done free agency this year, they could really solidify their team for the next couple of years, but we are going Fernando Mendoza at pick number 1 to the Las Vegas Raiders.
Tom Brady with an elite quarterback, Heisman winning quarterback. I think it's a good combination.
Oh yeah, no, I don't disagree, Eric, at all. I mean, the everybody knows that's what's going to happen. I don't disagree with the premise. I'm just saying that sometimes the obvious shouldn't be as obvious. But again, I don't think they can go wrong with Mendoza. I think he'll be fine. So, Sean, your New York Jets are on the clock.
Yeah, so this is difficult for me. They need linebackers. Arvell Reese makes 100% sense. My only thought is they also need an edge rusher. And David Bailey out of Texas Tech is there. And I think there's more upside with Bailey than there is with Arvell Reese. But Arvell Reese is the second best player on the board, if not the best player on the board, because they gave it to Mendoza. I would really like to go Bailey in this one. What are your guys' thoughts on these two?
Eric, go ahead. I'll let you go.
No, I mean, I like the name Bailey for sure. I mean, I root for that name all day long. But, it'll be interesting. I think they trade back in that situation and maybe go down to 5 or for, and I think they could do that and recoup a third or a fourth round pick doing it. But if they stay at 2, I think they get Reese. I think Reese is as close to, as close to a Luke Kuechly kind of linebacker that'll come in and make an impact right away and be a difference maker in the middle of the defense.
I'll say the one guy now. Are they looking? Do you know if the Jets are looking for a more of an outside or a middle guy, Sean?
I think they're looking for anything because they got rid of the linebackers basically.
Because the one guy that I think is interesting is Sonny Styles. And I don't know if he's going to garner the number 2 overall pick, but Sonny Styles is big. He's fast. And, if a linebacker is the guy that's going to go, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Sonny Styles jumps a couple draft boards, especially between his combine and pro day. Eric, I don't know your opinion on Sonny Styles compared to Arvell Reese. I don't know the different types of linebackers they are. Again, I think it's really what the Jets covet more.
Styles is a thumper. Reese is he's more of the green dot guy. I think if it happens and they go for Sonny Styles again, they trade down a couple picks.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Reese is the consensus number 2 I've seen pretty much on everybody's board here.
Yeah. But again, if your edge rusher theory, Sean, is not a bad one, but I'm gonna let you get the final call, buddy.
Yeah, we're gonna go with Arvell Reese. He's the second best person here, and the Jets need it.
Yeah, but I do got to say one thing about this mock draft, because I did a mock draft just Buffalo, and somehow, and I don't know how, I don't know what inside information PFF has, but I did 2 of these, and Arvell Reese fell to Buffalo at 26. And if that happened, I would jump on the table. And there were no trades, no nothing. I just let the board fall, and he was sitting there at number 26.
Right.
So they must have been going in alphabetical order.
Yeah.
So at number 2, we're going to go Arvell Reese to the New York Jets. All right. Wow. So now the Arizona Cardinals. That's going to be me picking this one. That's another team that needs quite a bit. That's a tough call. I mean, that is a really tough call. I look at it, they need a lot of players. I mean, they need quarterbacks. But I'll tell you the one position that isn't really being talked about for them that I would not be surprised. You got James Conner, who's long in the tooth for a running back. You got Trey Benson, who's been injured the couple seasons he's been there. And you have probably one of the most dynamic running backs in Jeremiah Love sitting there at number 3. And I know it might be early, but you need all the skill players you can get. You're going to be running Jacoby Brissett as your quarterback to start the year. I would not be surprised if Jeremiah Love comes off the board this early, because Arizona needs a lot. And I just don't know if any one of these positions of need, tackle, D-line, linebacker, is going to make much of a difference, as much as a guy like Jeremiah Love from an offensive standpoint to help whatever quarterbacks you have back there. I'll let you guys discuss it amongst yourselves.
Yeah. I think they may go tackle here. They need some offensive line help. Like even some of these, like AI is saying they're going to go Ty Simpson. No. Jacoby Brissett's coming back. He's going to be their starter. Next year they're going to have a top 5 pick, and then they're going to be able to grab a quarterback. I think they may go tackle here. I mean, they have some running backs. Connor's good. Their backups are good. They definitely need some offensive line help. And if you're grabbing the best tackle, which is the hardest position to fill on that offensive line, I think they may pick up that tackle.
Yeah, I mean, we don't got to spend a ton of time on each of these teams, but I mean, I think I agree with tackle. If they're going talent, they go Jeremiah Love, but it's your pick, David. Go ahead and take. Who do you think they're going to take?
Oh, man. Well, now that you talked about that, I guess the thing is, if next year they're picking in the top 5 and they're going to be taking a quarterback, I guess the best thing you can do for a young quarterback is make sure your offensive line is solidified. Regardless of the skill players, if you have a crap offensive line, it's not really going to matter. So I'm going to take tackle Francis Magawa, or I don't know if you guys can pronounce it. Anyway, the tackle from Miami. I'll do that. I'll do the safe bet, but I wouldn't be surprised if Love goes here. But I'm going to take Magawa from Miami, the tackle.
Now we go.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
All right, Eric, you got the Tennessee Titans up on the clock.
Okay, so for the sake of time, most mock drafts have Jeremiah Love. He's kind of an obvious fit. To them, they need playmakers. They've got a bunch of young offensive linemen. I think they go Jeremiah Love here.
I agree.
I disagree, but that's your pick. So I think with Robert Saleh coming in, you need a defense. You got Tony Pollard and you got Tajay Spears. You got Robert Saleh as your head coach. Defense is utmost importance to him. And you got but you're saying Jeremiah Love. I'll give you Jeremiah Love there, Eric. So Jeremiah Love to the Tennessee Titans.
All right. Now the Giants here, this is where things kind of get dicey. Obviously, they do need a linebacker. It's not their number one need, but, Sonny Styles is there. I could totally see that happening. But they need another wideout to go opposite Malik Neighbors. And Carnell Tate is sitting there. Just give me a quick answer. Who would you go? Would you go with the linebacker or the wide receiver here?
Their defense,
wide receiver.
Their defense is pretty stacked. I'd go with the receiver.
Okay, David.
Yeah, I was gonna say you know John Harbaugh and what he likes to do from a head coaching style, being in Baltimore. But you have Jackson Dart, who's in his second year. You want to give him all the tools that you can. So if receiver is on the board, I would have had Jeremiah Love going here if Tennessee didn't take him. But because he's gone off our draft, I would definitely go with the best playmaker. So, Sean, make your call.
Carnell Tate. I see that safety sitting up there. They need a safety, but again, they need that help from the league.
So Carnell Tate to the Giants, the Cleveland Browns. They trade this pick for 5 first-round draft picks.
They still need a quarterback.
Yeah. Well, hey, Eric, I think you'll appreciate this because this is going to be the funniest thing that has happened to the Cleveland Browns in their existence. Deshaun Watson, you paid the guy $40 million guaranteed contract. He hasn't played a full season. This year, Jimmy Haslam says his slate is clean. He comes in. Obviously, I don't care what anybody says. The starting job in Cleveland is Deshaun Watson's to lose because of the fact that you're not paying him a cap hit of $72 million to sit on the bench. Deshaun Watson comes in this year, throws for 4,500 yards, 40 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Now you're Cleveland, and you have a decision to make. Do you pay him again Wouldn't that just be the Cleveland Browns?
I'll share with you. I saw a story today where Haslam said the door is open for a contract extension talk at the end of the year. And he hasn't even thrown 40 touchdowns or 5 interceptions yet, and they're already having that discussion. So I think it's hilarious.
Well, I think the only reason that they're trying to do any kind of contract extension with him is to lessen the dead cap hit that's going to follow the Browns to like 2030.
Don't the Mets have a forever $1 million payout to what is it, Bobby? Who is it, Bobby Bonilla?
Yeah,
they're still paying him.
Yeah, I mean they're going to be paying. They're going to pay Deshaun Watson in 2009.
$1 million a year for life.
Yeah.
No, but that would just be Cleveland's luck that Deshaun has a career year, and then they're forced to decide whether to let him walk or to sign him. But anyway, this team needs a lot of help. But the one thing that they do need is they need playmakers on offense. They need to get playmakers for whoever that quarterback is going to be. Because regardless, if that offense can't score, Quideshaun Junkins hurt his knee last year. I don't know when he'll be back. So if it's me, my pick would be Malachi Lemon here, because you need somebody opposite Jerry Jeudy, because Jerry Jeudy definitely isn't the answer, and you already have Harold Fannin, the tight end. You need to give whoever's going to be that quarterback as many options as you can offensively. So Malachi Lemon would be my choice here. If not, I would probably take maybe David Bailey opposite of Myles Garrett and take some of the pressure off of Myles Garrett to maybe allow him to be that much better. But other than that, I think they need a playmaker here. So I would definitely go Malachi Lemon. Sean, what do you got?
I agree.
Eric, any thoughts?
No,
this
I
is
don't.
your division, buddy. So let me know.
I give a rat's ass about Cleveland, so let's move on.
I know. Well, then Malachi Lemon is going to go to the Cleveland Browns. All right, Eric, you got the Commanders. You are on the clock.
Okay, so the Commanders have a lot of needs here. I know there's a lot of buzz reading, so I was chatting with some of the insiders, even in Pittsburgh, about the tight end from Oregon. He's one to watch because he ran a 4.3. I don't think he goes this early because I think there's a lot of good players on the board here. And I think David Bailey's kind of an obvious fit. The Commanders have a lot of needs on the defense. They need to get better in the pass rush. Need to get better on the back end where Caleb Downs could come into play, but he had a poor medical. So I think David Bailey's the obvious pick here.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
Yeah. Reuben Bain is on the board. He's rated a little higher, but I just think, where you're picking, he's got more upside.
Yep.
And Reuben Bain's got some not small character issues, but I think David Bailey's probably the better of the two.
Yep, I agree with that pick. So Washington Commanders select David Bailey, edge rusher, Texas Tech. Now the New Orleans Saints.
Yep, they need wide receiver, defensive line, and linebacker. Sonny Styles on the board. I think Sonny Styles is going to go here.
Yeah. Go ahead, John.
I was just going to say, I don't see a reason for them to I know the receiver from Arizona State's out there, but, I mean, we're at pick number 8 here, and Sonny Styles on the board. I think they got to go for him.
Yeah, I think if Sonny Styles is still there at number 8 and those wide receivers are gone, I think they run up to the podium to draft Sonny Styles. Eric, your thoughts?
No, I agree.
Mm-hmm. All right. The New Orleans Saints at pick number 8. Linebacker, Sonny Styles, Ohio State. All right, Kansas City. Kansas City needs wide receiver, edge, DB. Well, seeing as how they just traded their
Whole secondary.
they lost their secondary. Mansour Delane from LSU is on the board, and with their pick, that's who they are taking.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
I concur.
All right. Kansas City drafts Mansour Delane, cornerback, LSU. The Cincinnati Bengals. They draft every defensive player available in the draft. Eric, go ahead. It's on you, buddy.
Well, I'm back to the Bengals. Okay. You know who'd be the perfect Bengals pick looking at this draft board? I don't even have to think about it. One, I know they went and tried to get an edge rusher. I don't think it worked out very well. But Reuben Bain seems like a, hey, let's get in trouble in Cincinnati kind of player here.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of fits their kind of style of pick here. Now, I really, my gut says Caleb Downs, so I'm going to go Caleb Downs here because I think it's the better pick, despite the medicals. But it would not surprise me at all to see Reuben Bain. Even every part of my hater wants to send Reuben Bain to him because that seems like a Pac-Man Jones, Montez Burfict kind of player here. So I'm going to go Caleb Downs, though.
All right. I will say that if Reuben Bain is on the board, losing Hendrickson, you need to have that dynamic edge rusher.
You're right. Let's go Reuben Bain. You're right. I forgot Hendrickson left.
Yeah.
I was about to say, yeah, I got to disagree with that pick, Eric, but you're good.
Okay. So Cincinnati selects edge rusher, Miami, Reuben Bain Jr. Next, the Miami Dolphins.
All right. They need wide receiver, guard, defensive back. Now, my question is defensive back. Does that mean corner? Does that mean safety? Does it mean both?
They need both. They traded Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
So
then at this point, they got to go Caleb Downs. That's for their need. I mean, they could go Luan from Penn State. How would you say his name? But I think Caleb Downs, he's out there. I think they pick him up. Anyone disagree?
No, he's the best pick.
Yeah, he's the best pick. I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking safety that they might lean a little towards Dylan Theinman from Oregon. But if Downs is available, the only reason I would say that is because of what Eric said about his medical. But other than that, I think they're going to go in the backfield, and I think it's going to be safety. So if Caleb Downs is there and that's the guy you want, Sean, let's do it.
Okay.
All right. Caleb Downs, pick number 11 to the Miami Dolphins. Dallas Cowboys on the clock at pick 12. All right. Well, this is interesting. Dallas needs defense. Dallas needs a lot of defense, and they're going to load up on defense. They were looking to get an edge. They were looking to get Max Crosby. Didn't pan out for him. And position of need. I'm going to say if edge was one of their main needs and they didn't address it in free agency, and they got the linebacker, what was his name from Green Bay, Quay Walker.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that they're going to take from the University of Miami, Akeem Mesidor, the edge rusher from Miami. That's what I'm looking at.
Just real quick, throwing it out there. They also pick at 20.
Yep, I know.
And I'm not looking. I mean, there's not a lot of need for edge. You got.
Oh no, they need an edge.
I know, but what I'm saying is that there's not a lot of teams going after them that need an edge until they hit 20. You got Tampa, and it's low down on their list. I would almost linebackers, edge, cornerbacks. I mean, just a thought. Going corner here. There's another team that needs a corner. They're kind of in good position here. But okay. That's all I had to say.
Yeah.
But Mesidor's your pick. Eric, do you agree, disagree? Just go on.
I don't sleep on that tight end from Oregon. Like I said, he's gaining a lot of attention because he's a mismatch. He can be used as a big body receiver. He's not going to be an inline blocker. He's going to be split out. But his measurements again, he's a tight end coming out of college that ran a 4.3. So, and he's 6'5", 240 pounds. So, I mean, I could see Dallas with that offense being Jerry Jones. Come on, baby, give me another weapon with all his weapons on offense, because I could pick at 19 and get an edge later on.
Nah, I don't see Sadiq going to Dallas. They got Ferguson, and defense is their need. I mean, I can't. They need an edge rusher, and if Mesidor is the guy on that draft board, the best edge rusher on that draft board, I just don't see them passing that up. I mean, they swung twice in free agency and missed. So I'm gonna stick to Akeem Mesidor going to Dallas at 12.
Okay.
Make
it so, David.
All righty, then there we go. Mesidor to the Cowboys. The Los Angeles Rams are on the clock. Eric, here you go.
All right. So the Rams here, the Chargers, right?
Nope, the Rams.
Are the Rams, okay. What are the Rams' needs there, Sean?
Wide receiver, tackle, and linebacker.
Tackle, linebacker. I like my guy from Oregon, but I don't think he goes here, even though I think Sean McVay would be heavily tempted. But give me the safe pick to protect Stafford here. Give me more than a feeling. Monroe Freeling here.
Oh, you go with Georgia over Utah.
No.
Spencer Fenno.
No, I think Freeling's a good pick here.
Yeah. I don't like people from, not people, but players from Utah. I've had experience with that.
Yeah.
So.
Sorry. All right. Monroe Freeling to the Los Angeles Rams at pick number 13. Now let's go to pick number 14, the Ravens. There you go.
Oh.
Wide receiver, center, guard, linebacker.
Yeah, I want to go with what's on the board for the top. I got to go with the receiver in this one, Jordan Tyson. But actually, I can't pronounce the first name, but Loan from the guard from Penn State.
Yeah, that's my feeling on Baltimore. From all my inside knowledge right now, their interior offensive line is god awful. They signed the guy from the Jets who they think is going to be the top guard right now, and he's not that good.
Mekhi Becton?
No, it was the other guy.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, he's if anything a stopgap. So they need two guards and a center, long term wise, to rebuild that offensive line. So I think the guy from Penn State's an instant plug and play, best interior offensive lineman they have in their program right off the bat. So I gotta think they go guard here.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. They need interior linemen.
All right. So, David, you get the easy one. Go ahead and select that dude.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here's your guy, Eric. Kenyon Sadiq is going to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at pick number 615.
I know This feels very Arthur Smith, but I was hoping he would make it to 21 because I might take him with all.
Yeah. Yeah, if they had a different need, but tight end being that need, and K. Dotton hasn't performed, Sadiq is the guy here. Especially losing Mike Evans, you need somebody big that's going to replace him as a wide out threat. Any disagreements?
No, he's
Negative.
a beast. He's a beast.
All right.
And that's their number one need. They're picking him.
Kenyon Sadiq to the Tampa Bay Bucks. Sean, you get to go again.
I know. It's the only thing good about being a Jet fan. We suck so bad I get to go a lot. Here. So we've already got a linebacker. An edge would be something I could see because, we're a defensive-minded team. But at this point, Jermon McCoy. We lost Sauce. The rest of our secondary shit. I want to say Jordan Tyson, the wide receiver from Arizona State, who could make a huge impact opposite Garrett Wilson. But I think at this point we got to go Jermon McCoy. What are your guys' thoughts?
You're taking a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Eric, what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like the Jets are going to be offensive minded this year. It doesn't seem like they're that close to trying to build that ultimate offense right now. It's more like, hey, we're going to have Geno for a year and we're just going to suck. And then we're going to get our quarterback next year and pick in the top 5. So if I'm thinking that way, I'm either thinking tackle or Aaron Glenn gets a corner. And he gets to groom his corner out of Tennessee. But I think it'll be tackle and offense before it's wide receiver.
Okay. So what did you say? Did you say Jermon McCoy, Sean?
I did. I said Jermon McCoy.
All right. Well, then you get him. Jermon McCoy at pick number 16, going to the Jets. The Detroit Lions. Eric.
Okay, what's their draft board needs?
Tackle, D-line, and linebacker.
Tackle, D-line, and linebacker. All right, let's get the tackle from Utah, the top tackle on the board here.
I agree. If Fano's there, yeah. All righty. So, Detroit Lions take Fano. Minnesota Vikings. Go ahead, Sean. Now it's your back to regular order.
Okay. They need running back, center, defensive line, and safety. With everything going on here, I think this guy from Oregon, Tideman, would be their choice for getting the number 11 player in the draft at 18. I would say they're going to pick him.
Yep, I agree. Eric, any discontent there?
No, he's a beast too. I like him, so that's a good pick.
All right, Minnesota gets their safety. Carolina Panthers, that's me. So we got wide receiver, tight end, center, and D-line. Carolina Panthers needing D-line. I think Keldrick Falk, the edge rusher from Auburn. Can't have enough edge rushers. I could say Jordan Tyson. Well, wow, could you imagine Carolina having 2 back-to-back offensive rookie of the years, both being wide receivers? You know what? Give me Jordan Tyson from Arizona State.
Yeah, I agree. Eric?
What pick are we at? 20?
Yep,
19.
19? Yeah, I think that's a good pick.
All right, Jordan Tyson. Going to Carolina. The Dallas Cowboys. Eric.
All right, give me their needs list again.
Oh, D-line, linebacker, and cornerback. Number 1 on the board is
C.J. Allen.
C.J. Allen.
Linebacker out of Georgia.
Yeah, I mean they've got to rebuild the defense in all different levels, and I think the defense. You know, you need a signal caller. You need a tough. He played the SEC. You know, Georgia historically has got a good defense. He's got good lateral movement. He's a sideline to sideline player. I like CJ Allen here.
CJ
No.
Allen? Yeah.
Yep.
What do you think, Eric?
No, I'm right there with him.
Yep, absolutely. All right, CJ Allen going to the Dallas Cowboys at pick number 20. How you doing, Mr. Sullivan? All right, Eric, you get back-to-backers because the Steelers are on the clock.
Yeah, this is easy. If the draft plays out here and they stay and they don't move up, and now granted they've got 12 picks, so I think they may get aggressive. And if they like somebody who's gone between, like if Tyson's there at 19, they have enough capital to say, Carolina, here's 2/3 and a first, and we'll take Tyson. But if they don't like Tyson and they can stay, I think it's pretty simple. They got those two big horses at receiver in Pittman and Metcalf. You're trying to get Aaron Rodgers and or Will Howard, depending on who it is. You want to set up your offense this year and have a really dynamic offense with McCarthy. It's going to be Omar Cooper Jr. here at receiver.
You think they go receiver?
Yeah, it's going to be receiver or guard. Or if that safety from Oregon's still around, they'll go safety. But they're not going to go tackle. Their tackles are fine. I think they're not. I think from all the inside sources I've been told, tackle will be a. They've got 3 third-round picks and a second-round pick on day 2, so they'll go wait for the 3rd round to go tackle. They're pretty happy with Brock Hoffman from the Cowboys and Spencer Anderson battling out at guard. So I think they'll wait till day 2 on that as well, from what I'm told, and bring in a 3rd or 2nd round pick. So yeah, they want a receiver to complement those 2 big receivers on the inside.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did Cam Hayward, did he re-sign yet?
He did.
Okay. They signed him to what, a 1-year deal?
Yeah, now remember they drafted a defensive lineman in the 1st round last year. And so with Keanu Bitten, they only play 2 linemen on most plays. So
well, I'm just wondering if a guy like Keldrick Falk there, because you got.
He's an edge. They don't need any edges. They're good.
You don't think so?
No, not with T.J. Watt, with Herbig, with Highsmith, and with that kid from Ohio State, Jack Sawyer. No, they don't. They won't go edge.
So you say Omari Cooper? Or
yeah,
Omar Cooper?
That I get on with. I listened. I chat with Gary Dulac and Ed Boucher and all those guys in the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. They're convinced it'll either be if the guys that are gone, because they may go safety if the right safety's there, but if Diamond's gone, if Tyson's gone, yeah, it'll be Omar Cooper.
All right. I'm not going to argue with you. I don't. I wouldn't think after getting Pittman and having DK that I would venture offensive or interior O-line would be where I would go in the 1st round. But this is your team and you know them better than I do. So I'm going to stick with you and what your sources and what you hear more than I do.
And just remember, McCarthy likes 3-4 wide receiver sets.
No, I get it. No, I understand. So Omar Cooper, wide receiver, Indiana. Sean, do you have anything to add?
Nope.
All right. So Omar Cooper is gone to Pittsburgh at number 21. Pick number 22, the Los Angeles Chargers. Is this up to you, Sean? Yeah, it is, because Eric did 2 in a row because he had.
Okay. At this point, with what's on the board and what their needs are, I think they're going to go for Emmanuel McNeil Warren. They need a safety. Makes sense to me.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Other needs were just very deep,
Yeah. Yeah, I know they just remade their cornerback, so you might as well fill out the back end and have your safety. Eric, anything that you would do a little different?
No, I agree. I think McNeil Warren's kind of the perfect Charger. I think that fits perfectly.
All right, so Emmanuel McNeil Warren heading to the Chargers. Sorry. I get the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, let's see. This is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. Going to be tough because as of today, the unknown elephant in the room is A.J. Brown and what they're doing with him. Did they trade him at the draft? Did they trade him post June 1st after the draft? I think a lot of answers are going to be answered. Questions will be answered come draft night, depending on what happens. If I'm looking at Philadelphia and their number one need is wide receiver, edge, tackle, and safety. If I'm not planning on trading A.J. Brown, I'm taking Keldrick Falk. If I'm planning on trading A.J. Brown, I'm taking Denzel Boston. So my issue is, which way do they go? And I'm leaning to them trading A.J. Brown. So if I have my way, Denzel Boston's going to be a Philadelphia Eagle at pick number 23. Sean, what do you think?
I think they would go with Falk just because I don't think A.J. Brown is going to be tradable. No one's going to give up what they want for him. So that's the only reason why I just don't think a trade's going to happen. So,
Eric?
Yeah, they might take Denzel Boston anyway. A.J. Brown's not going to be their long-term plan. But with that being said, and to be honest with you, Boston fits more. Cooper fits more with what Pittsburgh's looking for as a slot. Boston fits more with what they're looking for to kind of move A.J. Brown long-term to replace him long-term. In the meantime, they've got enough, their other receivers they can play around. So I still like Boston either way, but I'm not mad at the Falcons either because they're always looking to get their pass rush better.
All right. Well, I'm because this is my pick, I'm doing this pick based on the fact that A.J. Brown is probably going to get traded to the Patriots either draft night or post June 1st. So I'm going to take Denzel Boston going to the Philadelphia Eagles. At pick number 23, Denzel Boston. Cleveland Browns. Eric, you get the Cleveland Browns. Your turn.
All right, let me find the worst player in this draft. I'm just kidding. So, Cleveland, what did they pick earlier?
What did we have?
Ty Lemon, wide receiver.
Okay, so they went offense the first pick. Now they have some questions on there. Did they not lose a bunch of offensive linemen?
Yeah, they need guards and tackles.
Yeah, so Blake Miller's high floor, kind of mid-ceiling kind of player. So he's not going to get a ton better, but he's going to come in and be able to play right away. He's going to give them 8 to 10 years of solid play. I think Blake Miller makes a ton of sense. I think he's a Cleveland Brown.
I agree.
Yep. Blake Miller to the Cleveland Browns, pick 24. And now pick 25, the Chicago Bears, center, D-line, and safety.
I think here Keldrick Falk falls to him. It makes sense to me. Caden McDonald, that also makes sense, but defensive line, I guess you would think McDonald, but to put that edge in there, that's what I can come up with.
No, I agree. They re-signed Mack for 1 year. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to replace him. You got 2 edge rushers in Howell and Falk that are out there. I don't think you lose either way. And like I said, you're going to have to start integrating that into your defense because Mac is old. So that would not surprise me in the least bit. Eric, what are your thoughts?
No, they're going edge here. So whatever edge you think's better, that's where the Bears are going.
So you want Keldrick Falk?
Yeah.
All right, Keldrick Falk, edge rusher to the Chicago Bears. Buffalo Bills are on the clock. Guard, D-line, linebacker, safety. I could take the sexy pick, and that would be Casey Concepcion. But I don't think the Buffalo Bills are going to do the sexy pick because I don't think they're going to invest $80 million into a bunch of no-name wide receivers. It's crazy to me that Buffalo has the third highest payroll for wide receivers in the league behind Dallas and Cincinnati. It's kind of sad, don't you think?
Yeah, I can't even name two of them.
Yeah. So my pick for the Buffalo Bills is defensive lineman Cade McDonald. True nose tackle in a 3-4 defense.
Yeah, they need that. I agree.
Eric?
Yeah, I forgot about Casey Concepcion. PFF must have him down a little bit, but I think he's rated pretty high in a lot of mock drafts.
Mm-hmm.
But here's my thing, and I hate talking about this and saying this over and over again. Every year we kind of get Josh Allen in a position where we're almost there, giving you enough weapons, but then we are going to be really good because of James Cook and how dynamic he is, but then we get to the playoffs and we're just missing something. So I'd like, going all in and just saying, let's get as many fucking weapons as we can trying to win, which is why I wouldn't be mad if I like the DJ Moore is going to be fine, but he's not enough of a splash in an offseason for them to get over the hump. So I would like them getting going for, Casey Concepcion, or even if Boston's on the board, screw. That's why I asked about Keon Coleman, because they alienated that guy. I don't know how Keon Coleman's still on this team.
Oh, I mean, he is. I mean, Joe Brady basically said you're going to love the fact that I'm your head coach. The thing with Keon Coleman and the issue that Keon Coleman has is it's his maturity and it's his ability to be where he's supposed to be. He's got the talent. Now, he's not a breakaway guy. He's not a guy who can he's proven that he can be good with the ball and he can catch the ball. The things that he can't do are the things that, again, I think a KC Concepcion can bring you, is that guy that has that separation and that route running ability. So again, the sexy pick for me is KC Concepcion because I think Buffalo does have to go all in. The problem I have is that in the playoffs, what I've noticed more so, and not in every one, Cincinnati was one. The first time we played Kansas City was another time. But for the most part, our offense has been able to score points. It's our defense that hasn't been able to stop other teams from scoring points. And so, again, I don't know what the Jim Leonard defense is going to look like. I don't know what weapons, what we have, what else he's going to need. But I would love KC Concepcion, and if I picked it, it would be like one of the popular picks. I'm just trying to look at it from what are the Bills trying to build, and I think they're trying to build a defense that's going to be capable of stopping teams in the playoffs. Because I don't think offensively they've done anything that would tell me that they're going to slow down what their production is, barring Josh Allen getting hurt from year to year. I'm trying to think from what they need to do defensively to stop teams in the playoffs from scoring 33 points a game when they score 32. And so that's where I'm looking at it. But Casey Concepcion wouldn't be a bad pick. But I'm going to take Caden McDonald here, but I could probably be wrong. And if Casey Concepcion is there, I wouldn't be surprised if they did that, Eric, to your point, and go all in. So to me, Caden McDonald comes off the board here at 26. Now, so Eric, San Francisco.
Okay, give me their needs again.
Guard, tackle, edge, safety.
Guard, tackle, edge, safety.
You've got Cassius Howell, the edge, Caden Proctor, the tackle, TJ Parker, the edge.
Yeah, I'm going to go with, because of Trent Williams being so old, and because Proctor can go in. I've read a lot that he can go inside and outside. So, like, they brought him up, in some of those chats I was on about how his position flexibility, about how you can use him. I like Proctor here because maybe, if you have Trent Williams, you can slide him inside. He can play a year or two with Trent Williams, and then, hey, we need to have a tackle, and there's a guard on the board in another draft. We can, flex him back outside. So I'm going to go, Caden Proctor here.
Okay.
I can agree with that. I think, especially with the situation that Trent Williams is in, I think tackle is going to be their prime need. Sean, any thoughts?
No, I agree with Eric's choice.
All righty. So Caden Proctor, pick number 27 to the San Francisco 49ers. Next up, Houston Texans. Running back, center, guard, D-line, Sean.
Yeah, this is tough. Trade back. But otherwise, I would say at this point, with the talent on the board and the depth of the talent, I mean, going to Emmanuel Pregnon, possible, but you got these edge rushers and these D lines up there. I would definitely go for maybe Caleb Banks or Cassius Howell is a edge rusher. So
they need the interior guys. They still have Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson on the edges.
Yeah.
So you want to go, if you're looking D-line, you want to go with Caleb Banks or that type of more of an interior D-line.
Yep. That's who I'm going with then.
All right. Eric, anything?
Now, Caleb Banks will make that defense nasty because they were already nasty on the outside.
Mm-hmm. The only other thing that I would say from the standpoint that would intrigue me if I'm Houston and I'm not looking defense, even though they have these other needs. Now here, Casey Concepcion would intrigue me. Opposite of, what's his name? Nico Collins, because Tank Dell's coming back from a devastating leg injury. And other than Jalen, who's the other wide receiver they have? I forget, but that would be an interesting Jalen Knoll, I think. But that would be an interesting pairing of having Collins and Concepcion in the same offense. Eric, I don't know if you have any thoughts about that, but.
Yeah, I mean, I think D'Amico likes his defense, though, and I think, the D-line interior makes sense because he wants to win that way with a dominant defense. But Casey Concepcion would be the 1B pick.
Mm-hmm. Okay. But, Sean, it's your pick. You decide.
Caleb Banks.
Caleb Banks. At pick number 28, Caleb Banks. Florida D-line going to the Houston Texans. Kansas City Chiefs. That's me. So we gave them a safety the last time? No, we didn't. We gave them the cornerback, right?
Yeah, they gave him the corner.
Yeah. All right.
Mansour Delane.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Edge rusher, defensive back. This is tough. Man, they still have Rice. You know what? This is where Patrick Mahomes gets another weapon opposite Rashee Rice. I don't think Xavier Worthy has lived up to his potential. He's fast, but he's not explosive and a difference maker. Casey Concepcion at pick number 29 would be a value pick for Kansas City here, and I'm going to have Kansas City draft Concepcion at 29.
I agree with that one. They need a receiver.
Eric, anybody stand out that you think?
No, I mean, as these picks get, some of these teams have got a ton of picks may come up here and grab some of these players here, but I think Kansas City stays and needs a receiver and needs a number one. Let's not forget they did draft, I think Xavier Worthy at the end in a similar situation here at the end of the first round.
Yeah.
And more than Rashee Rice, because Rashee Rice is long term, but somebody to pair up with him. I think Casey Concepcion would be a good pick.
All right, so Casey Concepcion at number 29 to the Kansas City Chiefs. Pick number 30, Miami, Eric.
This is another one where we're not doing trades, but I can see it teams coming up here and trying to get.
Oh yeah.
I'll just throw this out at Pittsburgh with their 3 third-round picks, and they're not going to draft 12 players because 12 rookies aren't going to make that team. I could see them coming up and getting this guard from Oregon, but for the sake of mock drafts and not trading here, we're going to leave that be. So Miami's got this pick here. I think they've got a lot of needs. I think they need an edge rusher. I think we already had them take a defensive back already. I don't think they double dip. I think they need to address their edge rush, and I think they go Cassius Hollowell here.
Yep, that's who I was looking at. Sean, anything?
Nope.
All right, Cassius Howell, edge rusher,
right.
Texas A&M. Sean, we're at the New England Patriots at pick 31.
Yeah. I think in this case they're going Max. I can't pronounce his last name from tackle.
Einekor?
Yep, from Arizona State. Vrabel was actually at his pro day, and after he got done, he was pretty gassed. But Vrabel was fucking around with him pretty good. So I think that's who he's going to go for. That he knows they need a tackle.
I can't wait till Joe Brady shoves it up Vrabel's ass twice this year. By the way.
There you go.
Eric, anything?
This is another sneaky one that New England could trade back and get a bunch of picks. But Vrabel was at this guy's pro day, so let's go with him.
All right, Max Einekor, New England Patriots, pick 31. And finally, Dave at pick 32. Seattle, running back, edge rusher, defensive back. Wow, this is tough. Not really. There's 2 Clemson Tigers on the board.
3.
I look at what they need. They lost, what's his name, the cornerback, and they lost an edge rusher. But I am going to give them cornerback Avion Terrell, the cornerback from Clemson, at pick number 32.
Yeah, I agree with that one.
Safe pick.
Yep. So Avion Terrell, Seahawks, pick 32. Analyzing our draft, grading your draft. Whatever. I don't know what our draft grade was. It doesn't give us a draft grade. That's ridiculous. They should have given us a draft grade.
Yeah, I'm looking. There's just nothing.
Oh, you got to unlock all that stuff.
Yeah. We ain't doing that.
So I've downloaded our first mock draft. We're going to be doing another one right before the draft. And everybody, just so you know, we are having our annual From the Couch draft night first round coverage. So anybody who wants to come on, anybody watching this who wants to come on and check out our show and be a part of it, please let me know, let us know. We will get you a link and we will get you on. But that is our mock draft. I have it saved and I will bring it out and we will discuss it at length. So let me open that back up. Now I'm back. So our mock draft is over, guys. That was pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. And just remember, on draft night, we will give you the draft picks approximately anywhere from 10 to 30 seconds before they are announced on television.
So, anybody want to talk about anything that came out interesting at the owners' meetings before we go?
There wasn't a whole lot of interesting things happening other than, what we expected to kind of happen at the owners' meetings. You got a few small rule changes here. That whole taking the penalty and kicking off from the 50-yard line BS kind of thing got squared away. But no, what about you, Dave? Anything interesting happened?
Well, I think the one thing that I like, and I'm hoping that it isn't going to be just based solely on the fact that if we have replacement referees, but I like the fact that they passed the rule of allowing the New York to call missed calls. I'm hopeful that stays. I'm hopeful that that's not an experiment, and it's not an experiment just for replacement refs. And I'm also hopeful through the NFL and the NFL Referees Association collective bargaining. I would really hope that the NFL would push for full-time referees. And I know your issue with referees, Eric, and I understand your frustration because I get the same frustration. I just don't vent it as much as you do. But I really believe that this sport is becoming too big. It's becoming too sports bet heavy. It's becoming too It's becoming too easy to capitalize and have too many questions of the integrity of the league, where officials aren't full-time employed officials by the NFL. And I think that needs to change if you want the perception of your league to change. So,
well, just on the full-time referee thing. So, yes, they do need to be more qualified and more educated, I guess. So here's my issue, okay, and it's becoming more obvious as I grow older, because maybe not just because I'm growing older, but because I'm involved in the sport in different ways. I'll see what is football on a Friday night. I'll see, a lot of things, players deciding games. For the most part, in a high school football game, very, very rarely, even if the calls are one-sided, do they even impact the outcome of the game. The better team, the better coaches, the better players typically win on a Friday night, and it's very not impacted by calls, even if the calls are for one side or another. They may matter in a small fractional, way in a game, but the players decide the games. You get up to college and it's still, you start to see it when bigger money games. Okay, man, that call late in that game really impacted the game. And then you get to the pros, and then you really see it. Like, wow, that those calls down the stretch that really got them over the edge. And in no way ever should officiating get in the way of deciding a game or not. And now I know you got to call things, you got to keep things clean, etc. but you got to set the tone from the beginning of the game. And if it takes full-time officials and they really aren't educated to kind of set the tone and make sure that things are, clean and called the way they want to call it from start to finish, fine. But don't start to call things one way and then wait to the fourth quarter and call them a different way, or vice versa. You got to be consistent, and whether the answer is they don't know what they're doing, they're part-time, or they're corrupt, we got to figure out what's happening with that, because anybody with any logic watches a football game and sees that and is like, okay, well, hey, that's a big money quarterback, so that's why they're getting those calls, and they're going to get worse as time goes on because people are getting more skeptical as time goes on.
Yeah, and that's what I agree with, Eric. Is my thing is if it's a penalty in the first quarter and it's a penalty with 1 second left in the fourth quarter, I'm 1,000% okay with that because you've called that consistently throughout the game. If it's not a penalty in the first quarter, but you wait till 1 second left in the fourth quarter, I have an issue. Because if you want to call a consistent game, if you want to be that ref crew that calls everything tight and whatever, I don't have a problem. If it starts that way from the beginning and it's an even playing field and both teams are held to the same standard, that's fine. Because in subjective calls, you're going to have humans who look at things differently. So I completely understand that. But don't make it that it's not a penalty in the first quarter, second quarter, but there's 2 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and all of a sudden, well, I feel like I need to call a penalty because, you know what I mean? And that's my issue is if you start a game and you end a game the same calls, same way, you can hate the penalties, you can say that they're ticky-tacky, you can say that, but if it's been like that the whole game, then both teams have been subjected to it, and you deal with it, you live with it, and you move on to the next day. But if it comes down to one play that was called that wasn't called all game, that's my issue. Sean, what do you got on any of that officiating stuff?
Well, are they going to be calling holds? Like if they miss a hold, I mean, are we going to, is it going to overload and slow down the game a lot? Which penalties are we talking about? Are we talking about pass interference calls that were missed, or was it roughing the passer? But no, it really wasn't roughing the passer. There
are a lot of like player safety calls. Like there's going to be like a lot of off the ball calls. There's going to be a lot of that kind of stuff. I know the one call. I know the one thing that they're probably going to look at is the face masks that don't get called in the pile. That kind of stuff. I don't think it's going to stretch to like lineman holding, because if they did that on every play, the offensive line you'd be throwing a flag every play. So I think they're looking for like if that guy's in the pile and the referee doesn't see the face mask, will New York make that call? Those kind of things. And I think they're actually doing this more for if replacement referees come into play, because they don't want what happened in the one game the replacement referees came in that Hail Mary, or that Fail Mary is what they called it, when the guy caught the ball in the end zone and then it was taken by the defender and then they called it an interception. Right. The NFL does not want that fiasco to happen.
Okay. That's about all I got. But it's about time for us to wind up. What do you think?
Yep. One more thing. Just one more topic real quick. Eric or Sean, your thoughts on the 18-game schedule that's probably going to be coming. What do you think?
2 bye weeks.
Yep.
Oh, God. It's a long season as it is. It is what it is. I mean, they don't play as much as hockey players, and they get as much – hockey players get more, if not equal, contact.
Let me ask you a question, and then we can wrap up, Sean. I'm sorry. You know how everybody talks about you're going to cut down to 2 preseason games, and we've already had the discussion how 3 preseason games wasn't enough because you look at the fact that the teams take a while to gel and all this stuff, and then you're playing your division opponents in week 1, and it could be a tiebreaker scenario, or it could be the difference between winning the division and not. The one thing I would think, and let me get your opinions and then we'll wrap up. The first 2 weeks of the season, everybody plays the first 2 weeks, everybody plays 2 of their cross conference games. That way they become less important in overall tiebreaker, and there's no interdivision or interconference games that can be affected by your tiebreaker. That way all your teams are like basically on an even playing field. I think that would help with the balance of the schedule and to help teams get into the groove of the regular season when the games are becoming more meaningful, that you're actually playing your conference opponents and your division opponents, where those games make more of a difference. What are your thoughts? And then we can wrap up.
Yeah, that's a good thought. I don't like week 1 that everyone's playing in division, then all of a sudden it's like all over the place, and then the last 6 weeks of the season they play each other all the time. So it seems like it's logical.
Eric.
I don't have a thought on it, guys. To be honest with you, whatever they want to do.
All right, that's Eric. Dynamite dropping.
All right. Well, that being said, everyone's tired. We're all going to wrap it up here. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you guys next week from the couch.
Have a great night.